Hello and welcome to our new series of Sunday Piano Classics. I should say it's lovely to see you all, but then I can't actually see you. But it's really nice to see your interactive comments. Hello Emma. And they do actually cheer me up here at my slightly lonely place at the piano. And cheering up is something we all certainly need at the moment. Our first piece is actually cheerful, and if you still need a little bit of waking up, then I hope that will do it for you as well. Today, since we can't travel ourselves, I would like you to travel with me with music, and I will take you to several places and we'll meet all these different composers. And we start out down in the Austrian countryside. We are at the Esterházy Palace, which is about 40 miles south of Vienna. And our host there is the great composer Joseph Haydn. You can see him there, and I have to warn you, he is a bit of a strange person in that he does actually wear a grey wig with one of those, you know, little bits of little roll on the side and so on. But once you get to meet him, he's actually quite normal. And he has quite a mischievous sense of humour, a bit of a practical joker he is as well. And he's taking us on a horse carriage ride. He's taking us on a little tour around the beautiful estate of Esterházy Palace. And you can clearly hear the hooves of the horses when I play my left hand in this piece. Of course, we'll be going by horse carriage, so there'll be horses, and these are the horses. Yeah, and of course there'll be a melody in the right hand as well, yeah? So I hope you're dressed smartly enough for this, and let's get ready and join Mr. Haydn. Well, our trip, thank you for that comment, that's very nice. Our trip then takes us quite a long way. In fact, our host Mozart, he travelled all the way by horse carriage from Salzburg to Paris, not in one go. He did stop in a lot of different places for quite a long time. But even so, when he did feel he was both dead and mad by the time he arrived, a fate that we're trying to avoid during this lockdown ourselves. But we've come now to Paris to meet Mozart there, and unfortunately our host is in far worse shape than Haydn. Unfortunately, we've also arrived at the worst possible time. Mozart's mother has just died and he's extremely upset. He's also busy arranging her funeral, and also he has to write back to his father in Salzburg, and so he writes a letter to his father's neighbor to break the news gently to him that his wife had died. When he's finally sitting down at the piano, he's writing a completely new piece, unlike anything he has written before. This is now not the time to write some pretty music for some aristocratic patron or something like that. He's writing this really just for himself and the future of music at the same time. Nothing like it had been heard before. The piano really comes alive here like a symphony orchestra, and already in the first few minutes there are dramatic clashes between very loud and very quiet sections. This is where Beethoven's music was born, and really there's now a new beast on the block, the Piano Sonata, and it's here to stay for the future. Now this first movement that you're hearing is really very dramatic, and Mozart quietens, he calms down a bit for the slow movement, which is very beautiful, but also as sad as you would expect under the circumstances. In the middle part of that slow movement, we can hear Mozart's heart beating violently, and it takes him some time to calm down again. The last movement is restless and agitated. It's no happy, merry finale as you would sometimes get in a sonata up to this point. The left hand is often not together with the right hand and seems to be pulling in a different direction. Mozart allows himself just one fleeting moment of happiness before the turmoil returns again. You never quite know what to expect in this sonata, but I hope you enjoy the ride.
Yeah, thank you, Valentin. My name is Peter, and I'm assisting Valentin in this project. I enjoyed Haydn and Mozart very much, and I'm sure so did our whole audience. In order to allow Valentin a short rest, let me please have at the middle of today's program a few words about this project. Also from my side, a very warm welcome to the audience to this first edition of Sunday Piano Classics. We are broadcasting via Facebook and YouTube, and we launched this project last week, and the launch had meanwhile 200 views. We have around 130 subscribers on Facebook and YouTube. And we invite you to continue this journey together with us. Let me just change here quickly. On March 7th, we will have the second edition of our series. And we already defined the program which Valentin will present. Beethoven's Pathetic Sonata will be the main work of the second recital. Yeah, so over to you, Valentin. Let me also show some of the comments which I could not do in parallel while you were playing. So we also invited you to ask questions, to interact with us in different ways, live during the recital, but also afterwards. You can give to us your feedback, and we are very grateful for your comments. So there's a question from Mariana. Valentin, please, your turn.
Mariana, hello. It's actually really difficult to say how long I practice. I think I really only practice for as long as I think is necessary. But of course, some pieces you've played all your life, others are completely new. It really does depend. But it has taken me all my life to find out really the best way to practice. And sometimes, of course, you have so many different pressures. This week, for instance, at the beginning of the week, I was really feeling very dodgy, and I was worried that this concert could go viral for all the wrong reasons. But don't worry, I did actually take a test yesterday, and it came back negative. So it seems that I'm okay. And the only one who can make this recital go viral is, of course, you, our audience. And I hope that answered your question a little bit, Mariana. But it is really very difficult to put it exactly into words or time for how long I would practice something. Also, the memory is quite different for different composers. Now, I will thank you very much for the lovely comments, Paul, Suman, and Juno. That's really, really kind. I will carry on with our journey, and we're coming back from Paris now, back to Vienna. And as we arrive in Vienna, we find that Schubert is actually a most genial and accommodating host. And the flat he's living in is very primitive, but still, he's always such a nice and warm composer. He does look a little bit sad, though, when you look at him now, because he's just come back from seeing Beethoven on his deathbed. He's writing some new music some new piano music inspired by Beethoven. And if you remember me playing the Moonlight Sonata in the 2 weeks ago online, this piece actually, he picks up a little bit of an idea of the Moonlight Sonata. In the Moonlight Sonata, you've got these rolling triplets to which you get a melody. line. And Schubert does something quite similar. He puts the melody also on the little finger on the top, and underneath of that melody there are the triplets. It's faster, and of course it's a very different piece, but it's clearly inspired by it. And that melody that Schubert invents here is very, very beautiful. It takes us from this rather dingy little flat to some very beautiful and exciting places. Thank you, Alicia, for that comment. That's very nice. Yes, let's really, does take you to another place. I'm not quite sure where I am right now, but it's lovely to feel that I'm here with you. And of course, our musical journey goes on, and now you'll find that you've actually traveled to London, and that your host at the moment is, I'm afraid, me. You find that you are really much better off with the other guys. I'm not even going to offer you a drink, because I think there's already enough water in the sounds of the sea, the little piece of mind which I'm forcing you to listen to now. I did write it for my dad's 80th birthday a few years ago, and the Schubert Impromptu you just heard was one of his favorite pieces. So these two pieces are a little mini memorial for him. He would have been happy to think that we're thinking of him, because he passed away unfortunately last year peacefully, and so just a little bit, a couple of pieces in memory of him. This piece also brings back some memories to me of a Caribbean island where I finished writing it, and that little photo you can see on the screen is actually a photo I took while I was writing it, so you can gather just how exhausting and demanding the life of a composer is, at times at least. I also really enjoy swimming in the sea and diving a little bit, just with goggles, nothing fancy, no diving equipment. But when you go into that ocean, say the Caribbean around there, and you swim around, and when you first see that fish with a little triangular fin in the water, you just have to keep calm and tell yourself, it's okay, it's only a baby shark, or at least it was in my case. Thank you very much. We now travel from the Caribbean to Poland, and Thank you very much for that. And we are in Warsaw. We meet our final host, a rather nervous young man of 21, Frédéric Chopin. He's preparing to leave his home country, and he knows that his friends are planning an armed revolution against the Russian occupation. They want him to leave before, but they don't want to tell him that he would be no use to them as a soldier because he's actually quite sickly. They're all convinced of his great genius and know that it would be a terrible waste if he was killed in some battle. So he must set out on his lonely journey, on his lonely road, first to Vienna and later to Paris, and he would never return back to Poland again. It must have felt to him as if night was falling on his life. So writing a nocturne, I think, came quite naturally to him. This piece is a very fragile journey to a better place at which we arrive, yet cannot stay. But the journey itself, I think, makes it all worthwhile. Thank you for that comment, Derek. That's lovely. Now we've come back to Paris again because our host Frédéric Chopin could not find fame and fortune in Vienna and decided to make Paris his home for the rest of his life. In the meantime, the revolution back in Poland has failed terribly. And when Chopin heard about it, he was so upset that he wrote the famous revolutionary study. Here's another one of his studies which is just as fierce and fiery, the Winter Wind Study. Our host loves playing Mozart in his spare time, and perhaps you remember the opening notes of our Mozart Sonata. Here they are again, this. You will hear them again just now at the beginning of the Winter Wind Study, just an octave lower. And the pieces are of course both in the same key. At the beginning everything is very quiet and mysterious before that storm breaks loose. For a pianist this is the equivalent of a bungee jump. It wouldn't be fun if it wasn't a bit scary, but of course for us there isn't really the guarantee of a safe landing. So here we go for the Winter Wind Study. That was Chopin's Winter Wind study. Now, a year later, almost everything is well again with our host. He's actually enjoying his life among the aristocratic jet set of Paris. And he gets invited to all the best parties. And for that, of course, he needs to play one of his party pieces every now and then. And this here is one of his very best ones. It's the Fantasy Impromptu. thank you very much. It's really nice, Ralph, to see your comment. And I remember playing this piece to you in real life before. Thank you, Sumi. I really enjoyed sharing. Oh, thank you very much, Rachel. I really enjoyed sharing all this music with you. Oh, thank you, Paul. Yes, I think we all need some music, and let's hope that live music will return. Thank you, Imogen. Juno. Oh, do you want me to play an encore? Oh, thank you, Sarah. That's really nice. It's just fun to see your comments here, and it means a lot to me.
Yeah, Valentin, let me just say that there were many comments while you were playing, but it's impossible to show them all while you explain between the works something. So you will see that later in the recording.
Lovely. Oh, thank you. That's really good to see. Thank you, Shane. Oh, that's really nice. Thank you, Shane. I think as we have done well over an hour, perhaps I will leave the encore until next time. Or you do want an encore? Okay, shall I play something? Just a brief Chopin waltz or something. Okay, I will. Fine. Since it's okay. This is a waltz by Chopin. Not many people play this one, but I think it's quite a beautiful little piece. Just something small to finish. Oh, thank you very much, Minami. It is lovely to see all your comments, and I will read through them all when I've come back to planet Earth. Lovely. I really look forward to seeing everyone again in 2 weeks' time, and there'll be a bit of unusual music from the Fitzwilliam virginal book, and some Scarlatti, and of course more Chopin, but the famous Pathetic will be our main work. Oh, lovely. Sumi, really nice to see your comment there. Thank you very much. Yes, of course, Paul, you can invite anyone to these concerts. They're open to the public, so anyone can join. And of course, it's nice to have a big audience, and it's lovely to know that you're all out there. Many people, thank you, Sarah, for your comment. Many people, of course, also listen to the recording of it. It's really nice to know that they're shared by a big audience. Hori, thank you very much. I remember your son playing some of the pieces I played today, the Fantasy Impromptu and the Schubert Impromptu as well. Lovely. Hello, Tuna. I think I can see you back there, even though I can't see you. It's lovely to see you all, in spirit at least. And it's a lovely way to communicate with you through these comments.
Yeah, also from my side, just thank you all for your participation, and say that we will set up the next event very soon. We just didn't do it yet up front in order to not confuse anybody with two events being set up on our pages. So it will be available very soon. And of course, we will appreciate if you share it in your Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever communities. Thank you very much in advance.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. I'm looking forward to the next concert as well. I'll take tomorrow off though and go for a walk. And oh, hello, Sebastian. Nice to see you. And Ralph, of course. Lovely. Oh, Fang. That's very nice. Juno. Yes, of course, you helped set up the last concert, which is very kind of you. Oh, thank you very much, Tobias. Yes, I look forward to you playing me the Winter Wind Study as well. Mrs. O, lovely. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Canny. Oh, thank you. That's very nice. My mother was from Vienna as well, so we share an Austrian mother. Of course. Oh, I think you'll have to leave the encore, another encore until next time. But I did play at least one Chopin Waltz. I'm sure I'll play another one, possibly even two at the next one. Thank you, Shane. That's very nice. Oh, that's great. I'm glad I could bring a bit of fun and enjoyment and something different to you. Thank you, Imo. That's lovely. Yes. It's nice
Yeah,
to
so
know
I
there's
think
an audience out there.
I think we are closing here, and of course your comments can be posted in the recorded session, and we will come back on that usually via the usual channels, Facebook and so on. Wishing to all of you a very nice Sunday afternoon and evening, and a good coming week. See you in 2 weeks' time. Bye-bye.